Welcome to episode 19 in our series on Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto's The Way of God, and we are in the third section of the book dealing with the soul and prophecy, and we're up to the final chapter, chapter 5 of this section, which deals with the greatest of all prophets, Moshe Rabbeinu. So the Ramchal is going to describe Moshe as a prophet and his capabilities as compared to every other type of prophet. So let's begin. The Ramchal begins. There are two totally different levels of prophecy. One is that of every prophet other than Moshe, while the second was the unique level attained only by Moshe. God himself makes the distinction when he says in Bamidbar 12 verse 6, "If there be a prophet among you, I, God, will make myself known to him in a vision. Not so my prophet Moshe." The necessity for the vast difference is because it was the Torah itself that was revealed through Moshe's prophecy. Every prophet other than Moshe would receive his prophecy through a vision or dream, as the Torah states also in Bamidbar 12 verse 6, "I make myself known to him through a vision. I speak to him in a dream." This means that God manipulates man's natural power to dream, and uses it as a means to transmit a prophetic vision. This does not mean, however, that a dream and a prophetic vision are in the same category. God's wisdom merely deemed that a dream should be an adequate vehicle for prophecy. When our sages teach us that a dream is a 60th of prophecy, they do not mean that the two are the same. What they are teaching us is that both contain information that man could not attain with his powers of reason alone, as discussed earlier. When the influence of a prophetic experience begins to be felt, it causes its recipient to become mentally and physically incapacitated. He loses consciousness as if he is sleeping, and his thoughts resemble those of someone asleep and dreaming. Only then can the prophetic vision come to him. This state of being can be introduced upon a person while he is awake, causing him to lose consciousness, or while he is asleep in bed, in which case the prophecy comes in a nighttime dream. In sum, prophecy can come only when the individual is not in control of his senses, such as during sleep or while he has fallen into something similar to sleep. In some cases, the prophet is in the sleep-like state for only a very short time, and he returns to normal consciousness practically immediately. For the whole time that he is experiencing his prophecy, however, he must be deprived of his senses and remain in the sleep-like state until the prophetic experience is over. So I've touched upon this in a previous episode, where I imagine that because the main arena for the prophetic influx is the human brain, it's very possible that in order to accommodate this new influx of information, and perhaps certain areas of the human brain light up that previously were dormant, perhaps other areas of consciousness must be shut down in order not to overwhelm the brain. Perhaps this is why there is a shutdown of other senses during the prophetic experience. The Ramchal is now going to describe how revelations are refracted through a kind of lens, and the message in the end is conveyed in allegory or metaphorical senses. So the Ramchal continues. The prophetic vision is not like seeing something directly. Rather, it is like seeing it through a lens, or aspacularia, or rather through a series of lenses, where the image is refracted from one to the other. Although it is not seen directly, what is seen through the lenses is the object itself, together with all its motions. Besides this, the prophetic vision is not seen as if it were transmitted through a clear, polished lens, but rather through a dull lens. It is thus impossible to see the glory clearly, even after the image has undergone all these refractions. Despite this, however, what the prophet sees is actually God's glory, and he is aware of this without any doubt whatsoever. In this respect, there are also many levels and degrees of prophecy. One prophet may see through a clearer lens than another, and therefore perceive his vision with greater clarity. No matter what level of prophecy is involved, however, the prophet always perceives the true essence of each concept. He knows for certain that the one who is revealed and made known to him is the Creator. Every prophet also comprehends the concept of the lens as well as its essence and mystery. He perceives and understands the information that is revealed both clearly and accurately, as discussed earlier. Nevertheless, just as the glory is shown to him as a refracted image, so is the information granted to him transmitted by means of allegories and metaphors. It furthermore only comes through a dream, which is the vehicle of prophecy as discussed earlier. The prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu, however, was on a totally different level. First, he did not have to be deprived of his senses or lose consciousness in order to experience prophecy. It furthermore did not come to him in a dream. Moshe was able to experience prophecy while wide awake and in a normal state of consciousness. God therefore said about Moshe, and I quote from Bamidbar 12:8, "Mouth to mouth I will speak to him." Moses furthermore received every concept like one who sees something through a single, highly polished lens. The information therefore did not come as an allegory, but in a direct, clear manner. This is what the Torah means when it says of Moshe's prophecy, and I quote also from Bamidbar, "with vision and not with allegories." Even in the case of Moshe, however, the glory could only be revealed to the extent that he was able to accept it. Even he could not see the glory directly, but only as an image formed in a mirror, since without this, no human being can have a perception of his Creator. The image that Moshe saw, however, was one that was complete and clear, just like an image seen through a brilliantly clear lens, without a trace of dullness. Regarding this, the Torah states, and I quote also from Bamidbar, "He looks upon a picture of God." The visualized form is the picture, and Moshe saw it most perfectly. This was not true of any other prophet, since none could ever attain such a vision adequately. Because of the nature of Moshe's vision, the information that was received was both clear and voluminous. In this respect also, Moshe exceeded all other prophets as mentioned earlier. Another difference between Moshe and all other prophets was that all others could not voluntarily initiate a prophetic vision, but could only do so when God willed to bring his influence to bear on them. Moshe, on the other hand, could do so at will. He was given the ability to bind himself to God whenever necessary, and thus experience a revelation. The revelation of all other prophets was furthermore limited to the particular things that God desired to reveal to them. Moshe, on the other hand, had all the secrets of creation revealed to him, and he was given permission to delve into all things and search out their deepest aspects. All the keys were placed in his hands, and he thus achieved what no other human being ever had. This is what God meant when he said of Moshe, and I quote again from Bamidbar 12 verse 7, "He is trusted in all my house." God likewise told Moshe in Shemos 33 verse 19, "I will make all my good pass before you." Just as all the prophets accurately perceived the vision that was transmitted to them from the glory, as discussed earlier, and they also comprehended its subject matter and meaning, as well as the mechanics of how it came to appear to them. So too, the prophets also gained great amounts of secret knowledge about the greatness of God, for such knowledge was inherent in each revelation. In addition, the prophets garnered keen awareness of the fundamental truth that God himself is invisible, and whatever is seen during prophecy is but a creation, fashioned by God for the eyes of the prophets, presented as desired by God for reasons known only to him. On this matter, Israel was told, and quotes from Deuteronomy 4 verse 12, "You saw no image, only a voice." And likewise we were also told from Deuteronomy 4 verse 15, "You have not seen any image." All Israel comprehended two important truths. First, they had to realize that God's true essence is not included in any image whatsoever, and that he is totally divorced from all possible visualization. Once they realized this, certain prophetic depictions were revealed to them. The Torah thus tells us from Shemot 24 verse 10, they saw the God of Israel. When our sages speak of any visualization, even that of Moshe, they call it the visualization of speech. This means that the prophetic vision is not an actual depiction of the glory, but a vision that is conceived from the power of speech. This power of speech is very much like the lens or aspakliria mentioned earlier, through which the vision is perceived. Through this, the prophetic experience can make one aware of the mysteries of God's divinity, as well as his creation and direction of the universe, as discussed earlier. So that concludes this chapter and this section, the third section dealing with the soul and prophecy. And it is evident that Moshe Rabbeinu was on a higher plateau than any other prophet ever and ever will be, in terms of his comprehension and enlightenment that God bestowed upon him. But I guess if you're to deliver God's Torah, you have to see through the clearest lens, as the Ramchal describes this concept of perception. And so that was a fascinating section of this book, and we're going to move on to, in the next section, which is part 4, serving God, and the various ways that we can do that.